I want to do something special for this, because all the Fondulum releases up until that time were only white label.
Right.
They're just a white sleeve, no, just singles, no artwork. So dude is like, yo, I want to make this a double LP and really fly with the gatefold and the poster. And, you know, do you know an artist? So Bobito says, yeah, my man right there, Keo, he's an artist. And he introduces us. Yo, this is my man Doom. I don't make the connection as of Love X. You know what I mean? Like, nobody really knew who Doom was at that time. Just like me, he'd kind of been lost in the sauce for a minute. He was coming back at the same time as I was coming back into the fold. So we began to talk and build, and it turned out we knew a lot of cats in common. Okay, yeah, because my whole crew was from Douglas Projects, Rocksteady Park, the GOAT, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That
Right.
FC, IBM, TC5, Rocksteady, that later became like CM and MIC, and you know what I mean? It's generations to this shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, I'm like the uncle who you never met before, showing up to the family reunion barbecue, like wanting to hug you, and you're like, "Who the fuck you know, man? I just came home. Give your uncle a hug. I ain't seen you since you was this big." Rubbing your head, and you're like, "I don't know you." So
Yeah.
I'm coming back out of the woodwork, and this dude, we immediately clicked, and it was like we had known each other our whole lives. We started talking about things, and here's the funny thing. Doom could have done all his own cover artwork. He didn't need me. Doom is a super fly graffiti writer, illustrator, creative. All the ideas were his. He just understood that he wanted to focus on the music and pass that off to somebody who got it, somebody who
Mm-hmm.
he could vibe with, right? That he could trust. And that collaborative style, that's an old school thing. See, as graffiti writers, you come from a crew, right? You don't do everything yourself, right? Maybe your man is good at characters and you're good at letters, and the other guy could fill in, and the other guy could go steal a pizza in a 40 ounce and bring it back, and the
Right.
other one
Right.
put it
Right.
down for the police. Everybody has a role. So Doom came from that, even though he's a little younger than me, he came from the same type of legacy that I come from, that is passed down from the master to the apprentice takes on it, you know, and you become a journeyman, and it's like um, a tradition. We didn't learn from the internet. We didn't learn from a
Nah.
video or a book. Somebody had to take you under the wing, and you form a crew, and you're stronger together, right? So we kind of formed a little crew at that time. My man Vaz was booking his shows at New Eurekan, and Bob was working on this, and this one was producing, and my man Percy, big up Grimm, MF Grimm, my
MF Graham.
brother. He was you know, everybody was making things happen separately but together towards a similar goal, and it became Metal Face Records, like bomb. And a lot of that was cooked up at my crib on Second Ave and Second Street, because Doom was staying down south.
Yeah. I,
Doom used to
I,
live at my house when he was in New York, or Curious House, one or the
yeah.
other.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me just jump in for 1 second. It's so funny that you say that like a lot of stuff took place at your spot, right? Doom was, I think, he's probably the only person I know that has had so many different phases of his life. There's like off the top of my head, like just without really thinking, there's probably like 5 people that come to mind that have a similar story saying, yo, a lot of that was done in my crib. And then somebody else has, yo, a lot of that
I've
was
heard
done in
30
my
people say, yeah, Doom used to live at my house. Yeah, we
yeah, yeah,
recorded that.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but I'm
It's
that way. I had them kind of lifestyles where I would, you know, what the era before that, where I'm talking about 86, before we formed Third Base, right? I was living in Sake and Pete Nice's dorm in Columbia. I was eating the students' food in the cafeteria. You understand? I was basically homeless, even though I was dressed dip, fly,
Right.
and going to the club every night and keeping money. I didn't really have my own place. I stay with this girl, I stay with that one. So Doom was on the same thing, man. We knew how to just, it's not
How to
even
live.
being on the humble because he was living well. He was enjoying his life, man.
Hmm.
And so was I. We didn't need a whole lot to be creative, man. So I've seen Doom draw people to him. He would bring cats out of nowhere. Yo, my man's doing the video. That dude, it was Ben Recchi and Adam Balalo that did his first videos. They were like NYU film students. I don't know where Doom found them. Them dudes are now like award-winning Sundance Film Festival motherfucker, got their own production companies. You know what I'm saying? Doom could just spot talent, bro, and attract dudes to him and be like, yo, you want to do my video? And somehow they're working for free and everybody's just vibing. You know what I'm saying? Just, and that's really what hip hop, like I said, it came from having nothing and turning nothing into something beautiful. And this is like after I took a 10-year layaway. And Doom even said that in his first Operation Doomsday shit. He said, I came back from 5 years laying and stayed the same.
Hmm.
Right? So
Right.
I had 10 years off and came back, and all of a sudden I'm back, and it feels like the same sort of positive energy now. But I'm a little older and a little wiser, and I'm not going to fall into the same traps. You understand?
Right.
So beautiful, beautiful things, man. Within the space of a few weeks, because I remember Percy had to turn himself in. He had to go do a bid, and we wanted to get everything done. Um, you know, Grem was already sentenced, so we had a very limited time. We did right after Operation Doomsday cover. We did the Monster Island Czars. We did the Downfall of Iblis. We did Rodan's solo album. We did a single cover for MIC. I think it was called the Mike Line. We started the Special Herbs joints. We just bang, 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 one after another, and we were cranking them out. That other poster over your other shoulder, the MIC,
Yeah.
we did that in the same session on the same computer in my same living room as both your shoulders. That's you got the angel on one and the
Got the
devil on the other.
yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah,
And that MIC album, man, people sleep on that. That to me is one of the quintessential, one of the hardest albums of that era, New York. And when everybody was together, and really to me, you know, um, Grim and Doom was the glue holding it together because you had a crew from Long Island and a crew from up. It's like if you watch that Wu-Tang documentary now, how the RZA was able to bring cats from two different projects that had beef with each other and be
right.
like, nah, let's do this together. And they were stronger together. So you have to have somebody that has the magnetic personality to bring everyone together. Like they say, to be the head of Voltron, right? So this Voltron had two fucking heads. When Doom and Grim was clicking, everybody would, man, that album is amazing. And I had an opportunity to record on some of them MIC records, and I was hesitant. I was like, man, I don't want to be MC. I just want to do the artwork. You know what I mean? Now I'm kind of like, wow, I should have just did it. But you think your people will be around forever, man. And
Right.
you know, there's opportunities that I let slide. I did one record, and I don't know if the world ever heard it, but it's got me and Graham, and it's got a bunch of MCs, like a posse cut. The dude Dub L produced it, and they got me to spit a little verse on there. Maybe it ain't even 16 bars, but Gemini the Gifted One is on there, and my man Professor X, Lumumba Carson is on there. It's the
Wow.
last thing he ever recorded. So
Wow.
now I'm kind of like, I'm glad I got on that session, even though they had to drag me. I was like, nah, man, I don't want to be, just let me do the artwork. I want to be behind the scenes, behind the camera.
Right.
I never wanted, but I still was a part of something monumental, man. We changed. I meet little kids now I mean, I'm talking 12-year-old kids that Doom is their whole world, bro. And
Yeah,
I'm
it's
amazed. I'm
crazy.
like, you know who Doom is? Know him. They start spitting his lyrics forwards and
Yeah, yeah.
backwards.
Let me ask you, was the mask in play when you first met him, or was that a concept that you guys both come up with?
I'll tell you, and maybe I'm talking out of school. Maybe he wouldn't have wanted me to give away this secret, but what he told me, Ghostface at the time, right, had not shown his face. He wore like a white pantyhose stocking on to
Mm.
protect your neck, Julie. Nobody knew what he looked like. And Doom was like, oh, that's Fly. Now, in retrospect, I believe it's because of his experiences being a child star, right? He already had a recording career and knew what that was about when people recognize you and all the headaches that come with celebrity. So, like a graffiti writer, you want to be anonymous. You're famous, but nobody puts the face to the name, right? So he was like, yo, that's Fly. I want to do something like that where, you know, I keep my shit covered. So the first show he did, Vaz booked it at the New Eurekans. He just had a
Yeah.
bandana and a fucking straw cowboy hat. He looked like straight like Wild Wild West. Like he was coming to stick the place up. And the next one, it was a pantyhose mask.
Pantyhose. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. I remember
he
that
had
one.
on a Giants jersey and a pantyhose mask. And we were busy this whole time trying to find him something better. So the first thing that we made was a plastic one, and you can see it in the video. I think it's question mark. That was just, you know, the cheap Chinese shits you wear as a kid on Halloween, and your face is sweating, and it got two little holes for your
Yeah,
mouth.
yeah.
Straight plastic with a rubber band in back. So we found one. It had red and black stripes. Somebody told me it's Kane from the WWF. I didn't even know who that was. I thought it was Darth Maul. But I spray painted it silver and I cut it with a gem star around the mouth and I shaped it and I drew with a black marker and really made it what it is. And you can see that in this first video. But that we knew it wouldn't last. It was temporary, plastic. So I got the idea. I said, yo, let's go buy a suit of armor. I'm sure in Manhattan, one of these antique stores, they got like a suit of armor, and I could take the faceplate, that night shit, and we could shape that because you know that's what Dr. Doom had a suit of armor, right? So we were walking around the East Village trying to find a suit of armor. Believe it or not, that was our mission. And we passed this place, Forbidden Planet, when you're going towards Union Square. It's a big comic book store on the corner with a curved window, the whole corner, right? I think it's 11th Street, 12th Street before you get to Union Square. And this movie had just come out with Russell Crowe called Gladiator.
Gladiator, yeah.
They had the whole helmet in the window on a wooden, you know, like a collectible, but it was genuine steel, heavy, life size. It was you could go to battle with this thing. So I said, yo, that's the one. And I took because it has a faceplate and then it had some spiky shit over here, like a helmet that went down your neck. And the faceplate could swing up because it had two pivots right here, right?
Yeah.
So I took that off. I took it to this cat who was a sculptor that worked in metal. So he had the oxyacetylene welding torches and all this shit, a German cat. And I drew on it with a Sharpie marker where I wanted him to make certain alterations. And then I took a construction worker helmet, you know, the yellow occupational safety hazard OSHA joint. So inside it has something like this, like a fitted webbing. So I took that part out of the yellow helmet and I screwed in the fucking metal mask, and that was the first way. And he since after that he copped a few more, and he had one with gilded, with gold. He had one that the first one got real rusted, and he even spit a rhyme about that. Everything Doom said,
Yeah.
it existed on 3 levels. when you really knew him, you heard the comic book reference or the science fiction reference, right? The pop culture reference, the hip hop metaphor, and then the allusion to his real life. That if you only knew him, you knew, you know, who Mary Jane and Peter Parker and all these people really alluded to. So they would, and he said that too in his three-headed monster persona, that it was parables of three in every other inference, right? So when he talks about the mask, he said it's rusted from drinking brew.
Yeah.
And exactly what happened. He used to spit and drink Jack Daniels, and you know, and the thing became corroded around the mouth. And he took that one and got it re-chromed, and then he had a ruby added. So like every time he got a little paper, he would upgrade the mask. And he said it became uncomfortable for him to wear for long periods of time. So he got it padded, he put some things. And then the last version that I saw, the last time I hung with Doom before he passed, before he transitioned, it had certain on the inside that you couldn't see, that was facing him, certain gemstones and minerals and copper wire conducting. And he was like, yo, everything vibrates on a certain frequency. Everything in there serves a purpose. This gives me more energy. You know what I mean? He was really on some science. And he had coated the shit with certain herbs, and it's above my pay grade. I don't, you know, that's one thing. That dude was super intelligent and read a whole lot about a whole lot. He could speak intelligently on theology, chemistry, geometry. You know what I mean? Like he was on a really high plane. Philosophy. He was dealing with things, the alchemy, sciences that I can't even speak on. So when he started breaking down to me what these different metals and gemstones, their property, how they acted on the human body, right? There was a reason why he made the certain modifications to the mask that he made. So it wasn't just a disguise, it served a function. And I've also seen him knock dudes out with it. I seen a dude try to rush the stage and catch a clang, and that I know because I worked on that with my own hands. That was a heavy, sharp piece of metal. That's a blunt object. You know what I Later on, Doom had a metal case made for it that, you know, it had foam inside to fit it. And the kind of shit that a secret agent would like handcuff to his wrist, you know what I'm saying? One of them real official little metal suitcase. And I saw him catch a dude with that. So, you know, things serve multiple purposes.
Multiple purposes, man. Which I'm almost positive that in his calculations of coming up with the idea of the mask, at some point that came into play. If I gotta clock someone, this is gonna serve its purpose too.
Yeah, because certain venues you couldn't bring a weapon with you. You know?
That's what I'm saying, man.
Get on an airplane with certain things.
You know,
so to have that as part of his costume allowed him to, you know, move. He didn't need security. Doom would chill at the bar by his goddamn self. He didn't have problems with anyone, but if somebody started a problem, he was not a punk. People say, oh, he was a nerd, a blurred, or whatever they call it. What the fuck is a blurred? I don't
know.
Well, it's the new shit, I guess. Anyway, because he knew about Star Trek or whatever, that don't make you soft. You can be intelligent and also be able to stand up for yourself, have principles. And Doom was that dude. And he says that in the rhyme too. He said, I'm steady on the humble, but I'll be right up front when we get ready to rumble. Yeah, and that was for real. He took my back many times. Look, Percy took my back out of a wheelchair, was ready to go to war. I seen Percy reach down and grab a spoke out of the wheel of the wheelchair had that shit like a shish kebab skewer ready to poke somebody up. It was already sharpened. So dudes, you know, they're multifaceted. That's what the MF means. People try to put people in one category. Oh, he's a nerd rapper. He's an intelligent rapper. He's a gangster rapper. He's a pop. Dudes can be more than one thing. When Rakim used to drop an album, there was a love song on there, right? About a girl named Ebony or Sisters Mahogany, right? There was a hard song. There was a song about his DJ. There was a battle song. That was multifaceted. He wasn't just one thing. And just because he made a love song, nobody assumed that he was soft, right? They didn't try to put him in that box. If another song was about how far away Jupiter is and the planets and all, they didn't try to call him a nerd. That's the era of hip hop that we came from. You could be multifaceted. You didn't have to be just one thing. Now it's like, okay, what type of rapper are you? Right. Are you a rap rapper or a, you know, what? Trap? No, I'm free.
Right,
whatever
right,
the fuck I want to be, right? Anyway.
Just, how would you describe, or how instrumental was working with Doom, I'm sorry, to you, you know, I don't know if you want to call it a career or just you as a person, but how instrumental was that, you know, working on albums, working on ideas? I'm sure you did some other side projects that were going to come out, you know, that you had your hand on the designing of it, or just even share, you know, going back and forth, bouncing ideas off of each other. You know,
well, this is another thing that Doom and I related on, because he's had two careers, two distinct careers. You spoke on he's had many lives, just like me. There have been many phases where, you know, I took on different personas in different arenas in different times in my life. But it could be broken down into two, right? Before I got locked up, I had a lot of hustle, and my name was known. I was already famous before I met Doom. Before, I don't know, Doom was probably 3 years old when I was making my name, right? But those skills were no longer applicable. Now that I'm on parole and I got 2 prior felonies, I can't do the things I used to do. So what Doom did for me is he showed me a new way to hustle. Because remember, when I met Doom, he didn't have a whole lot. He was making something out of nothing. Mm-hmm. He built that whole persona, and I saw the way he did a deal over here with this label, and he'd walk in the other label and super confident. And he knew how to structure a business deal too, right? Not just some street shit. Because I really didn't know how to market these skills. I had a lifetime of experience writing graffiti, doing all these things. I just didn't understand how to take it into the next level. And I was seeing kids that I grew up with, kids that I considered my juniors. Some of them were my sons. Now they had careers. They were the head of the art department at a major label, or they were selling canvases in Paris for $250,000. And I'm like, wait a minute, that should be me. Mm-hmm. But the truth was, like the ant and the grasshopper, when I spent 10 years fucking off, getting high, running the streets, they were hustling. They were grinding. So they had earned their spot. And Doom showed me how to market my stuff. Now, I did a whole lot of things at that same time. I told you I was working with Loud Records. I did something for EPMD's first reunion record. Parrish Called Me. I did the artwork. It was called, what the hell was it? The Danger Zone was the first single, right? I redesigned their logo, everything. I did Inspector Deck's first logo for Uncontrolled Substance. He was supposed to be the biggest out of the wall, the most anticipated. It didn't really come off like that for a lot of reasons. Label politics, RZA had a flood basement. You could name a million reasons, but for whatever, I didn't think that Doom was going to be the thing that people remembered me for, because he was very unknown, independent. and he wasn't really mainstream. When you first heard him rhyme, you were like, yo, this guy sounds like he got marbles in his mouth or something. It's real lazy style. But when you listen 3-4 times and you begin to catch the deep, it grows on you. But it's not pop radio music. So I'm doing things for major acts. I did Mobb Deep's Murder Music. I did all these things at that time with Loud Records that I thought would kickstart my career. Right. Nobody remembers none of that shit. What do they know? Oh, he's the guy who made MF Doom's mask. Right? I've worked with Nike, Supreme, Adidas, Stussy. I've done huge things that paid me a lot of money, things that got a lot of press. Nope, that is what today. Listen, I just did a little sizzle reel for this project I'm working on. I call it a docu-series, but it's really autobiographical, right? It's a memoirs. So I had young kids, man. One is a studio engineer, one is a cameraman, and they're all excited about that Doom. That's all they know. They never heard of Rakim. They never heard of the RZA. Doom? You worked with Doom? These kids don't even listen to any other hip hop. Like, Doom has transcended, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. People don't speak English and know every MF Doom lyric. He's like my man Ram LZ, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Ram LZ was like that.
Yeah.
People who don't listen to any hip hop fuck with Ram LZ.
You know who Ram L is, yeah.
Yeah. He was on a different level. Ram LZ would go to Japan and they worship him like it was Godzilla came to town, bro. He sold out.
Yeah.
He sold out stadiums over there. Here, New York, people would, who the fuck is that? You know, they wouldn't even recognize him. But,
so much history that you have, and you mentioned this new project. Can you take us back to what this project consists of and what we can expect?
Well, if you haven't inferred from everything I've told you thus far, I managed to avoid being a celebrity. I had the first person wanted to sign me was Herbie Azor, who they call Herbie Lovebug. Had Salt and Pepper, Kid and Play. The next one we had Def Jam wanting to sign us. I ducked all them deals, right? They wanted to put me in a movie. I just wanted to do the artwork. Yo, let me do the fucking graffiti. I don't want to be on camera. So my slogan was always, yo, you could keep the fame, just give me the fortune, right? So I started writing fiction scripts for television and movies and trying to shop them, and everybody was like, man, yeah, we like it, there's something there, but who are you? We don't know you. You got, see, in that world you have to have some credits. I said, well, nobody's born with credits. How'd they get them? So they want to pair you with a showrunner or production company, and then it becomes their baby. You lose the rights to it. So because Doom had taught me this independent hustle, right? Now, you don't need a label. We're going to put together our own artwork, my look, my A&R. I'm going to produce my own shit. You know what I'm saying? He didn't allow anyone else to guide his project, so it was no longer his vision. Even me, if I was whacking up the artwork, he would say, no. Always got to be like this. I'll give you a perfect example. Behind your shoulder, there's an MF Doom tag in my hand style with a star. Right here. Right?
Yeah.
So originally I did that star like this one here where it says Keo. That's my standard graffiti star. Except it has 5 points, right?
He wasn't going to go for the 5 points?
Doom said, nah, this got to have 7.
Yeah.
It had a deep meaning to him. Everything. Yeah. And yo, that's his image. That's not my record cover. You understand? That represents him.
Yeah.
So every little thing. We did an ad for Subverse Music with Big Just and Fiona Bloom and Peter Lupoff, right? and they wanted to take an ad out in the newspaper, and we basically just stole a whole page right out of Marvel Comics and changed up some of the words. But it had Doom, Dr. Doom, in a helicopter on the mic, and he was shouting down to the people. He said, "Now I unleash my evil plot." And the thing was all ready to go to press. And Doom said, nah, change that to live. It can't say evil. It got to say live. I said, what do you mean it can't say evil? He's a super villain. He's the bad guy. You're the villain. No, he said, no. The kids is looking at this, man. So everything had meaning. And had he signed with a major label, he wouldn't have had that kind of say-so. Because I've seen it. I've seen how they did, projects that I worked on. Inspector Deck wasn't there overseeing the artwork. It was some art department dude, right? He wouldn't even see what the shit looks like until it comes out. So now that I'm trying to tell some stories, right? And I just wanted to sell my artwork is all I ever wanted to do. So, I'm a 3-time felon. I have no high school diploma. Actually, I do. I got my GED in Rikers Island on a 90-day skid bid, and I'm very grateful to the city of New York. Thank you. But I have no real skills. I can't go get a corporate job. Even though I look like a 40-year-old white man, right? I could put on a tie. Once you punch me in the computer, I don't look so good on paper. So fortunately, I have some skills that people want to buy my artwork. I don't have to go the corporate route. So I've been trying to sell artwork, but as I promote it, I got a little Instagram, right? People are more interested in the stories behind the artwork. I type a little blurb, right? A little caption. And that's what they're drawn to. Yo, tell us more. When is the book coming out? When is the documentary coming out? So popular demand. I said, you know what? I could self-produce this. Now they got Indiegogo, Kickstarter, all these means of dealing directly with your audience. You don't need a label. You don't need a studio. You don't need a production house. You don't need a pimp. If the people, I said, listen, you guys been asking me to make a movie, tell my story, write a book for years. Let's see if you really put your money where your mouth is. So I went and I found out, I asked my people, yo, if we're going to top production value, cameraman, sound, I need 3 cameras, right? 1 still, 1 boom, 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 boom. I want high production values. What's it going to cost me? They gave me that number. I said, I'll put it out there. I'm trying to raise this, a 30-day Indiegogo campaign. I made that in 1 day.
Wow.
I met my goal in 1 day. Indiegogo won't even pay me till August because it's a 30-day campaign. But that shit is already done. So the people have spoken. Now, I was trying to go to movie studios, and I have plenty of friends in high places that have become successful. And I said, yo, I got a show, I got an idea. And they're like, yeah. Everybody got a script. You know what I mean? I'll read it, I'll get back to you. And these are my boys. They love me, But that's just how that industry is. So by being able to deal directly with the audience, now the people who supported me, right? The people who contributed, I'm going to allow them to have a say in the direction. I'm going to show them, okay, you think we should lead with this, or what should boom, what should episode 2 be about? Let them vote. Let them really be a part of the production process. It's like you're sitting in the writer's room with me. You know what I mean? Because a lot of shows I see, and I watch, Netflix, HBO, these kind of things. Some of it's good, but 90% of it is garbage. And it's the same recycled garbage. They keep making the same movies and same shows over and over again. And it's like, same as the music industry, right? They sign the same sound-alike acts. And then one guy comes out and does his own thing. Nobody believed in him and makes a splash. Now they rush to sign 30 clones of that guy. So I said, let me just try to self-finance this thing. And that's really Doom's guidance, man. And I don't want to get into some spiritual mumbo jumbo shit because I'm not a religious man. I don't understand these things. I don't claim to know what happens after you die. But sometimes I feel it's not just doom, man. I got a lot of family, friends, ancestors that have passed away, but they left me with something that I can still use. In certain situations, I call on different friends of mine
Right.
that guide me. And Doom had that too. He used to talk to his brother when he was producing, because really Sub was the production guy. Sub was the beat maker. There's connections that you know, they transcend the physical. It's like twins. You know, you got twins that know what each other is thinking without saying. It goes unspoken, right? When I got the inspiration for this project, it was really Doom's voice telling me, yo, you don't need to go to Hollywood. You don't need these people. Just do it. Just put it out there, and if it's fly, it's gonna make noise. You understand?
Right. When this project does its thing, what can we expect from Keo in the future?
Man, I'm gonna just keep doing what I'm doing. Listen, I didn't expect to be alive this long. I should have been dead or locked up a long time ago. So you're asking me about the future. I'm happy to just be here today, right? I got a grandson now. I never thought I would live to see this. Nobody would have bet that I would live to 25, right? So now I'm 55. I'm about to be 56 in August. And I'm thinking, man, if I could do another 25 joints, I might get to see my great-grandson.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's goals. You want to talk about the future? That's what I'm doing. Right. But I heard Big Pun say that too. I'm trying to live.
Yeah.
It's not guaranteed to none of us. But
Right.
what Pun did while he was here, it still resonates. You understand?
Right.
So if I got to go tomorrow, I left something. We left something. Because you was a part of it too. You know what I mean? Even though we never met, even though we never rocked together, it's all a connection. So, like you said, Doom had many different phases of his life, but all of those led up to that thing on the wall behind you that's going to ring bells forever, man. Forever. Listen, you know who Say Adams is? He was a graffiti writer from Jamaica, Queens, Say City. He did
I've heard the
everything.
name.
He did everything for Def Jam. He had a company called the Drawing Board. He did before there was a Def Jam
Okay.
Production logo, because he was the superstar graffiti writer from Russell Simmons' Hood. He did all them logos. Mary J. Blige tag on the cover, you know, the LL Cool J to whoever, right? That's all him. That dude was the first artist in the Smithsonian Museum's new African American wing. Okay, in Washington, D.C. That's forever shit.
Wow.
So they just did a hip hop anthology, Smithsonian Institution. Now, say what you want about, you know, this corrupt country and our government. That's about as solid as it gets in this society.
Right.
Say Adams put my work in this book, the hip hop anthology, in the Smithsonian Museum. I can't even afford a copy. I'm gonna buy one soon though. It's mad money. It comes with CDs and all that. So that's like being in the Library of Congress. That's forever, man. Doom gave me a credit on track 21 of Mad Villainy. I didn't ask for that. I got a songwriting credit. Track 21, It's a Great Day. There's only 2 people listed on that album as writers, and that's Doom and Madlib. But track 21, you're going to see Lord Scotch 79. I didn't ask for that, but he gave me that. That's forever shit, bro. You know what I mean? If I don't achieve anything else in this life, man, I'm good. Because My grandson is only 1 now, and if God forbid I gotta go tomorrow, his mom will be able to say, look, that was your grandpa. Right. You come from people who did shit, who made shit happen, right? So that's the legacy that we leave behind. And it's not about money. It's not about power. It's about creativity. You understand? And Doom knew that more than anyone. Doom really, really dealt with that. And when I got lost, and I really got lost in a lot of street bullshit, cocaine, crack nonsense, Doom brought me back to, yo, it's still all about, what did he say? All that really matters if your rhymes is good, right? It's about the beats and the rhymes. It's about skills. At the end of the day, that shit is going to rise to the top. So when a lot of that other shit is forgotten, you know how, and I'm going to leave you guys with this because I know I've been taking up a lot of your time.
Yeah, so good,
you know
man.
how when you listen to the oldies station, like the doo-wop show from the 50s, there's certain records they play. There were 300 other records behind that didn't stand the test of time.
Right.
So when they look back on this era, I believe, even after people ain't, even today, I told you I work with 12-year-old kids. I'm teaching them graffiti. They know who Doom is. They don't know who Puffy is. They don't know who Dame Dash is. They don't. And I'm not shitting on them dudes. They did some things. They made a lot of money. They created a lot of good music. They made jobs for a lot of people. But what rises to the top, what really, really leaves an impression, man, and that's about the creativity. And Doom did that with nothing. Literally, with no budget.
Right. No doubt.
For sure, man.
Well, Keo, we want to thank you for the history, everything you've done for the culture. For those who want to keep up with you, where can they find you?
You for keeping it alive, man, because a lot of people don't care about this shit. Like they said, it's nerd shit. And I want to thank this dude right here.
Mashed potatoes, applesauce. Shout out to Bobito.
Yes.
Where can the people keep up with you on social media?
It's Keo. Hey, look at that. It's right there. Keo_X-Men. That's also my email. I'm not hard to find. I'm still in Brooklyn. I'm not hiding. It's Keo_X-Men at iCloud. Hit me up. I'm in the streets every day. I'm doing real things, man. I'm not a. People used to call me the legendary graffiti, and I said, no, I'm not a legend. I'm a real person. Paul Bunyan is a legend. The Loch Ness Monster is a fucking legend. I'm still here, man.
Right.
After I die, y'all can make up the legend. He was 20 feet tall, and he wrestled the alligator or whatever. But right now, I'm a real person, man. I'm not hard to find. So Keo_X-Men at iCloud. The Indiegogo account is called the same thing, the Keo Project. Just KEO. Like I said, see, Doom took a mask that was from a movie. What do you think the budget for that Russell Crowe movie called Gladiator?
Right. Out of this world, probably.
I mean, they probably paid Russell $25 million just to be in it.
That's
just for his pockets, okay?
You had to get the costumes and the people.
And Doom, what Jay said, he'd make a Yankee hat more famous than a Yankee can.
Yeah.
Doom made that mask better known than all the fucking Warner Brothers promotion and marketing team in the world, man. You can't buy that. It's not for sale.
Yeah, for sure. All right, everyone. On behalf of Changing of the Hip Hop Guards, myself, Uncle E, and the journalist Sincere, man, we appreciate everything you have done and continue to do, Keo. You're very important to the culture. Overall, not one part of it or anything. Overall, you are very important to this culture. Thank you. We wish you all the success coming your way with your project that you got going on and any other endeavors that you have. Yeah, man. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
Appreciate
Once again, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, Changing the Hip Hop Guards. Follow Keo on Instagram or whatever other platforms you prefer. Help him out and support his project coming very soon. And once again, thank you, and everybody have a good night.
Peace.
Peace.